Well, I get 1,009. That's 9 more than 1,000. I can do math. Good morning and welcome to day 9 of my 20 and 20. What? You might be asking, is it 20 and 20? Well, basically, there are 20 arrondissements in Paris, 20 districts to Paris, and I'm spending a day in each, making a video in each, highlighting some spots that I would normally recommend that are in my guide or on my Mapster. If you happen to be one of my patrons at $10 and up, you get access to my Mapster, which I update all the time. I guess I might as well cross through here. My Mapster also has some random stuff in London and other places, but we're focused obviously on Paris, and today we are in the 9th Arrondissement. I'm currently on the border between the 9th and the 18th. If that makes no sense to you whatsoever, check out this handy map right here. Should make things, you know, a little bit clearer. The way that the arrondissements work is that they start in the center and spiral all the way out to the bigger ones on the outside in sequential order. Now, one of the differences that I haven't really gotten into, and I've been meaning to this whole time, but keep forgetting to talk about, is that neighborhoods and districts are different. So, if you have a neighborhood, neighborhoods are named and districts are numbered. Arrondissements being the districts. So, the arrondissements are actual municipal districts that have their own mayors, that have a variety of different responsibilities and rights, where neighborhoods are more of cultural boundaries. So, when we talk about Saint-Germain-des-Prés, or the Marais, or Pigalle, which is where I'm at right now, those are more neighborhoods that are defined by culture and style, more than municipality. But speaking of style, it's time to go get some OG coffee from one of the older coffee shops in town, and one of the better ones, KB Coffee. I do love KB, and especially once their patio's open, that's a fantastic spot just to sit. So nice, and the coffee's so good. Okay, I'm gonna head back up to the border of the 9th here because it is kind of interesting. The top of the 9th is famous for its nightlife as much as its good food. It includes half of Pigalle, half of Blanche, half of Place de Clichy, or maybe only a third of Place de Clichy. Not really sure how much Place de Clichy it's got. Pigalle is, of course, the famous old school sex shop district. Back in the day, when the GIs showed up here in World War II, they called it Pig Alley because it was, you know, the smutty part of town. And just past it is where you'll find Moulin Rouge, but Moulin Rouge is in the 18th, so we will be pretending we don't see it today. And of course, Place Clichy also is famous for its nightlife. There's a lot going on there as well. But at Pigalle, there's a lot of great stuff at Pigalle. Like some of my favorite bars are over here. One of my favorite taco places is over there. There are a number of things around Pigalle that are actually a lot of fun and tasty, delicious. I have a bunch of places that I recommend in my guide up here for pizza, burgers, French food, tacos, coffee, everything. So while Pigalle is probably most famous for its sex shops and all that nonsense, it probably should be best known for its food. It's a really nice area overall. Just get a little bit south of all the neon lights. You'll find a good meal or two. Importantly, there is a Space Invader on the statue in the center of Place de Clichy if you're looking for them. I was trying to share this with Laura and Paul earlier, and they didn't know where it was, so there you go. This area is definitely known for its nightlife. Lots of students end up living in around here. We'll talk about the 17th some other time. It's on the other side of the square. Right now we're gonna shoot straight down. There are 2 churches that I wanna see today, but I'm kind of worried about the churches and well as everything else today because it is Easter Sunday. Happy Easter to those of you who are celebrating that today. There's a lot that's gonna be closed. Happily, KB was open. Unfortunately, the French restaurant I wanted to go to today, not open. There is another spot that I'm hoping is open that I really love as well that actually I would prefer to eat at today anyways. We're gonna try to go to 2 churches and 2 very ritzy places, and then we'll see what comes of it. Normally that would have been a much more dramatic reveal, but Trinity is currently under a severe amount of scaffolding, which is unfortunate because it's a really beautiful tower. The church itself is really nice, but the tower is pretty unique. It's really pretty and currently, I mean, it's really unique now too, being completely buried in scaffolding. That's, you know, nothing special, but definitely unique. I've had a few picnics in front of this church. This park is actually very nice. Let's try to get inside and see what happens. you want to go inside, you have to come up to the side and you'll see a big sign on the wooden, you know, pseudo scaffolding that says entrance. It's been a long time since I've been in there. I remember the cornerstones at the top of the ceiling. Those I really remember from before. They're really nice, very different. I think they're beautiful. Okay, we're gonna hit one more church up, ideally. Another one that I haven't been to in a long time. But first, we have to go to two churches of different types. One dedicated to music and another one dedicated to consumerism. I do have a video about visiting the Opera Garnier. If you'd like to see that, I will link to it, of course. Not gonna be able to go into it today, unfortunately, but it's well worth it. I also have a video about views around the city that highlight either Galerie Lafayette or Printemps. I'm not sure. Galerie Lafayette, a little bit out of my price range. Can't really afford it, but it is famous. The best part about it, honestly, is that there's a free view at the top. If you go inside and you go all the way to the roof, there's a fantastic view from the top. And then, of course, the opera, just worth it on its own. It looks like they might be doing tours this morning, so that's nice. If you want to go into the opera for like a tour, whatever, basically, not the gift shop. The gift shop's on the right-hand side, but going in to get like a tour, buy tickets, you go in the left-hand side if you're facing the front of the opera house. Fantastic, fantastic building. Gorgeous. Honestly, if you don't have time to make it out to Versailles while you're in Paris, get into the opera, even better. It's so beautiful. It's so just outrageously ostentatious and gorgeous, and it's a fantastic Versailles substitute. And I put it off for a long time before I ever went in the first time. That was a mistake. Highly recommend you go in there tout de suite, as the French would say. Okay, Galerie Lafayette and Printemps are right behind it. The fancy gold domes are on Printemps, which means spring in French. They're both department stores, both incredibly expensive, both have rooftops that you can hang out on, grab a drink, and watch the city go by. It's wonderful. Neither of them are open yet, though. I think I'm a little bit too early. How early am I? Yeah, too early to go up, and honestly, I don't think they'll let me, I don't know if they'd let me bring my wheel all the way to the roof or not. So, let's go see another church. There's an active ceremony going on in here this morning at Notre Dame de la Lorette. I don't think I've ever been inside this church. I'm gonna have to come back and check it out another time. Don't really want to interrupt the service as it's going, but it sounds nice from the outside. We'll come back and check it out some other time here soon. Faubourg Montmartre is a really nice little area near Cadet. And we're on Rue Cadet right now, which is kind of it's not technically a pedestrian zone, but it basically is a pedestrian zone. Lots of markets, some tasty food, some pizza, some butchers, some everything. Pretty much everything you need. You can take a stroll down here and you'd find it, I'm sure. There's a pizza place on here that's on my Mapster, and it's just kind of a fun spot to go for a stroll. There's one other thing that I want to find over here. There are a couple of covered passageways near here that may or may not be open. We'll find out here in a minute. Everything is closed in here right now, but thankfully it's open. So Passage Geoffroy is right across from me, and this is Passage Verdot behind me, Passage Geoffroy in front of me. Nothing's open in them right now, but thankfully they're open. I kind of thought that they would be closed today. There are lots of covered passageways down in the 2nd, here in the 9th. Didn't want you to miss out entirely. Have fun finding them and then discovering what's inside them. There you have it. We've bounced around a lot of the 9th. There is so much to discover in this neighborhood, so much good food, markets, passageways, Space Invaders all over the place. Probably see one behind me here in a second, or two. Fantastic neighborhood. It's actually where I'm at right now in Saint George, or St. George, is one of the most expensive parts of the city to live because it's freaking amazing and everybody wants to be here right now. But of course, no good Easter Sunday would be complete without a delicious lunch in a wonderful square at my favorite Indian place in in the entire town, Kasturi, which is of course in my guide, on my Mapster, and just generally delicious. It's less pink than it used to be though, that's the only downside. Aside from that, I'm ready to eat. So good, I'm so full. It's been a great day and night. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Tomorrow's also gonna be brutal because it's gonna be, you know, Easter Monday, so we'll see what all is open tomorrow. But I'm still gonna bounce around. It'll still be great. The weather will be fantastic, hopefully, and I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning for that. The last day of my 2020, no, not the last day, for the 10th day of my 2020 here in Paris. See you for that. See you tomorrow.